If you're buying a controller for PC right now, the gap between a $50 pad and a $200 pad has basically collapsed. And knowing which of these five fits how you actually play is the difference between loving your purchase and shelving it in a drawer. Let's break down 5 controllers people are buying for PC in this exact moment. And by the end, you'll know which one is yours. Starting with the 8BitDo Ultimate 2 Wireless Controller. This is 8BitDo's flagship pad, and it's aimed squarely at the PC player who wants competitive-grade hardware without stepping into pro controller pricing. The headline here is the joysticks. They use TMR sensors, tunneling magnetoresistance, which is a magnetic sensing technology, meaning the sticks read your movement without physical contact wearing down inside them. Per the official listing, that translates to higher sensitivity, smaller dead zones, and lower power draw than the Hall effect sticks most controllers in this price bracket use. What that means in practice: if you're the person who plays shooters for 3 hours after work and has already thrown out one controller because the aim started sliding on its own, this is built to not do that. It runs a 1000 Hz polling rate over both 4 GHz wireless and wired, which is roughly 8 times what a standard console pad reports, so your inputs register with less delay between your thumb and the screen. The wireless connection is rated at under 1 millisecond of latency, with a range of about 10 meters. You also get triggers you can physically switch between smooth analog pull and a short clicky press. Racing games want the first, shooters want the second, and there are 4 extra mappable inputs, 2 back paddles, and 2 additional bumpers, so you can jump or slide without taking your thumb off the aim stick. It ships with a charging dock, and it supports 8BitDo's software for remapping and stick sensitivity profiles. This one is for the PC player who takes competitive games seriously and wants pro features without the pro price. One compatibility note that matters: the 2.4 GHz wireless and wired modes are for Windows, while Steam Deck, Apple devices, and Android connect over Bluetooth. If your main machine is a Windows PC, you're in exactly the right place. It came in at $59 at the time this video was recorded, and the link is sitting in the description if you want to check it. Now, if you also game on an Xbox console and want one pad that covers both, that changes the equation. Which brings us to the GameSir G7 Pro. GameSir built this as its most aggressive controller yet, and it's the first Xbox licensed pad to use TMR sticks. It runs tri-mode, wired for Xbox consoles, 2.4 GHz wireless for PC, and Bluetooth for Android, switched with a physical toggle on the controller itself. On PC, you get that 1000 Hz polling rate over both wired and 2.4 GHz. Where it separates itself is the switch hardware. The face buttons use optical micro switches, and the D-pad is mechanical, so actuation happens fast and consistently instead of through a rubber membrane that softens over time. The triggers are Hall effect with clicky micro switch stops, so you can lock them to a hair trigger for shooters or leave them full travel for driving. There are 4 extra mappable buttons, 2 mini bumpers up top and 2 lockable back buttons, plus 4 rumble motors and a 3.5mm audio jack for plugging a headset straight into the pad. There's a built-in gyroscope you can map to the sticks, to buttons, or to mouse input, though that mapping works on PC only. It also includes a swappable D-pad, so you can choose between layouts depending on whether you're playing fighting games or platformers. And it's configured through GameSir's Nexus app. This is for the player who splits time between a PC and an Xbox and refuses to buy 2 controllers for it. And for anyone who wants fighting game-grade directional input and esports-level switch response in a mainstream pad. Worth knowing before you buy: Xbox console play here is wired only, so if you need untethered console sessions, factor that in. $79 was the price on the listing when we put this video together, and you'll find that link below. Quick thing before we keep going: if you're finding this useful, subscribe to GadTech and hit the notification bell, because we run these comparisons on new hardware every week. Alright, because not everyone playing on PC is playing shooters. Some of you are running emulators, indie platformers, or a library that's mostly two-dimensional. And for that, the 8BitDo SN30 Pro makes far more sense than anything above. This is the compact retro layout pad, and the current version has been updated with Hall effect joysticks, which means contactless sensing and no drift from stickwear. It connects over Bluetooth to Windows, Mac OS, Android, Steam Deck, Raspberry Pi, iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV, according to the manufacturer's information, and it runs about 18 hours of play per charge over USB-C. You get a full modern feature set inside a classic shape: clickable sticks, dual vibration motors, 6-axis motion controls, turbo, and a screenshot button. And the D-pad here is the real reason to buy it. It's the classic cross layout that fighting games and side-scrollers were designed around, not the hybrid disc most modern pads use. The size matters too. At roughly 144 by 63.5 millimeters, it genuinely fits in a jacket pocket, so it's It's the pad you throw in a bag for the laptop or clip to a phone for cloud gaming on a commute. It also supports 8-bit DualSense Ultimate software for remapping and stick sensitivity. Buy this one if your library leans retro, emulation, or indie. If you want something that travels, or if you want a solid second controller for local co-op without spending much. One thing to plan around, this model connects over Bluetooth, so if you specifically need a low latency 4 GHz dongle setup, look at the Ultimate 2 instead. $44 was what it was going for when this was filmed. Direct link in the description. Of course, some of you aren't chasing polling rates at all. You want the games to feel like something. That's the DualSense Wireless Controller. Sony's pad brings two things nothing else on this list has. Haptic feedback, where dual actuators replace standard rumble motors and can simulate texture, surfaces, and weapon recoil rather than just buzzing, and adaptive triggers that push back with variable resistance. You feel the tension of drawing a bow or the stiffness of a heavy break. There's a built-in microphone with a mute button, a 5mm headset jack, a touchpad, motion sensors, and USB-C charging. On PC, it works over USB-C or Bluetooth, and a growing list of PC titles support those features natively. Here's the part that determines whether this is right for you. Per Sony's own documentation, haptic feedback and audio through the 5mm jack only work over a wired USB connection on PC, and adaptive trigger support over Bluetooth varies by game. So this is for the single-player, story-driven PC gamer who plays plugged in at a desk, wants maximum immersion, and probably also owns a PlayStation. If you play competitive shooters wirelessly, the pads above serve you better. $74 was the listed price when this was recorded. The link's waiting for you below. And finally, the safest, most universally compatible pick on this list, the Xbox Wireless Gaming Controller. This is the standard Microsoft pad, and its argument is simple. On Windows, it just works. Every single time, in every game, with no drivers, no wrappers, and no configuration. PC games are built and tested against this input layout, which means the on-screen button prompts always match what's under your thumbs. It connects 3 ways: Xbox Wireless, Bluetooth, or straight USB-C plug-and-play. Battery life runs up to about 40 hours per set. It has a hybrid D-pad, textured grips on the triggers, bumpers and back case, a share button for instant capture, a 5mm audio jack, and full button remapping through the Xbox Accessories app. It also covers Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Android, iOS, and cloud gaming. This is for the player who wants zero friction. Someone setting up a living room PC, buying a first controller, adding a second pad for couch co-op, or just done troubleshooting input issues and wanting something that pairs and plays. $49 at the time of recording. And that link is in the description too. So that's the map. TMR precision and paddles from the Ultimate 2. One pad across PC and Xbox with the GameSir. Pocketable retro control from the SN30 Pro. Unmatched immersion from Sony. And total plug-and-play reliability from Microsoft. Every link is in the description below. If you're not subscribed to GadTech yet, go do that now so you catch the next comparison. See you in the next one.